I am Ava Goulet. Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. And I'm the founder of Dancing Jaguar Spirit Camp. And to just share briefly how I ended up becoming the person who started Spirit Camp and am teaching Spirit Camp for adults is I started Spirit Camp 7 years ago. And as I was teaching it to children, adults kept asking me to allow them to come to Spirit Camp with their kids because they needed to learn it too. And in order to be a really effective um, person who could support their child after Spirit Camp, they needed to know what their kids were learning. So adults started coming to Spirit Camp with their children. And then I realized that only works if an adult has their child in Spirit Camp. And many, many more adults were asking me to share this information with them because Spirit Camp is the summer camp they wanted to go to or would have wanted to go to if they had had that opportunity when they were children. So I started Spirit Camp for adults in 2018, I believe, and started teaching it as 1 day workshops, teaching basically the same material that I was teaching children, but I was teaching it obviously, using different vocabulary and different handouts. And it was a very informal um, training program. And then as I started teaching a teacher training program for the Spirit Camp for Kids, I started then being asked to develop a much more formalized, standardized training program so other people could learn how to bring Spirit Camp for adults to the adults in their communities. Because what I've just been discovering more and more is that more adults are having their spiritual awakenings than ever before, and they are just trying to figure out who can they turn to with all of the questions they have. And I had one adult say to me, I feel like I'm a sponge right now, like I have so much lost time to make up for. I have so many questions. I want to know everything now. I don't know where to start. I don't know who to go to, but I have a gazillion questions and I don't know what to do with them. So, Spirit Camp for Adults is like the perfect solution for those people because one of the students ended up describing it as a metaphysical smorgasbord for adults because you're getting to taste test all kinds of different things and discover for yourself what really draws you to wanting to explore it in a deeper way. Um, so I'm going to share a little bit more about that in a little bit, but I just wanted you to kind of hear the background of how Spirit Camp for Adults came into existence. It's because there's a need for it. And I was literally just stepping up and providing my clients with what they're asking for. And now I have like 900 people on my email list asking about Spirit Camp for Adults. So there's a lot of people interested in learning what I started teaching to children. There's a huge market for this. So that's what kind of is leading to tonight's call. Throughout COVID, I was spending a lot of time learning how to teach online because I never had before. And I really focused a lot on teaching the Spirit Camp for Kids teacher training programs. And now that I feel like I've really found my rhythm with that and I understand the technology and how to teach that online, I'm expanding and offering Spirit Camp for Adults teacher training online now as well. And I can't wait to show you all of the really cool things you get as a part of that. And one of the things that I've noticed since I started teaching in person again post COVID is that I really see a difference in children post COVID. Like there's so much more fear and anxiety and lack of trust, and um, they're I feel like the collective consciousness of children shifted as a result of COVID. And the more I talk to adults about that, the more I am validated. And I have adults saying that they're also having that same experience in their adult circles that they belong to because so much of the world of our worlds changed for us, it really impacted our mental health in huge ways. I mean, I feel that myself just because I had such a small bubble that I was living in throughout that period of time. So I feel like this is the time for all of us to really step up and support people in our communities because the need is huge right now. So I just have a couple of questions I want to ask you. Like, are you trying to find a way that you can make a difference in the world? And are you someone who uses spiritual concepts and metaphysical tools in your everyday life? And you'd like to figure out how you can share those with other people? Are you tired of spending money on programs that aren't necessarily inspiring you and really touching you at a soul level? And are you wanting to help people connect to their authentic selves? And are you looking for a community to belong to? You know, there are so many questions that I like to pose to people who are really interested in learning more about this program because um, I really feel like this program is very comprehensive and it meets so many needs. So I hope that you find that for you as we go into this call a little bit deeper too. So I have a spirit camp, a children's spirit camp teacher who just recently completed the spirit camp for adults teacher training. And what she said to me made so much sense. She knows all of the tools that I that we are teaching in the Spirit Camp for Adults program, but she has no idea how to teach them to other people, and she doesn't have the time or the wherewithal to sit down and actually design a curriculum that can be presented in such a way that it's like in bite-sized pieces so that people get a little bit at a time and it builds upon itself over time so that people are getting a really good comprehensive vocabulary, knowledge, tools, and techniques to really support them in their lives. So I would like to screen share with you for a moment here. You see my little spirit camp for adults sign there? All righty. So I want to share with you a little bit about what program is all about. It's a 5-day, very comprehensive program. It meets 6 hours a day in person. And in module one, we invite all the inner children to come forward and play. And this gets to be so much fun for all of the participants because we're spending the day creating community and creating the container for all the work that we're going to be doing together as time goes on. So we spend the day creating the sacred tools that we're going to be using throughout the duration of the program. And as we're creating those tools, we're also getting to know each other and having conversations and building trust and building community. And it's a beautiful way for us to all um, get to know each other and have that safe space as we move forward in the program. So in module one, we are creating sacred space, exploring the use of rituals, what they are, why we do them, what they mean. We learn an invocation, which is calling in the spirits of the seven directions. We are, as I mentioned before, building community. We're learning about all of the sacred tools that we're going to be using throughout the course of the program. And on this very first day, in this 6 hour period of time, your clients would be building a spirit toolbox, which is going to house all of the sacred tools and the materials that they're creating throughout the period of time. They make a rattle. It's a deer hide rattle. They make a sacred pouch, a talking stick, and a dream catcher. And of course, they hear the stories about all of those and what they mean, and why we are creating them. And then this little note underneath the picture here, for those people who are enrolled in this program, you will receive a box of all of the materials that you will need to create a prototype of each one of the craft projects you'll be making with your students. So we make those together in the teacher training program. So you actually go through the process of creating it. So you're confident in how to teach that when it comes time to teach it to your clients. Then in the second module, it's all about energy. And this day is really, really fun because people are being introduced to their chakras and auras and learning that we are made up of energy, it's everything around us. And we start learning how to sense energy in our bodies, how to move energy, any blocked energy that's there. And the clients, your clients, will get to learn how to use a pendulum as a tool to connect to their higher wisdom. And then they'll use that pendulum to check a partner's chakras to see if they're open or blocked. And then, as part of the program, they get a set of chakra stones, gemstones that get matched up with each of the chakras. And they have a really fun time seeing how those stones can activate a blocked chakra and really start moving the energy in that chakra. So it's a really fun time because people are experiencing new parts of who they are, and it's really exciting and fun. And this second day of classes is a huge hit with all adults. And they'll also start learning how to work with dowsing rods. We actually make dowsing rods in this program and learn how to use dowsing rods as another tool to connect to your higher wisdom. And we actually use dowsing rods to show our clients how big their aura is, because oftentimes people have a general idea of what an aura is. And if you're not sure what it is, it's your energy field outside your body. Um, and it's really fun for people to get a visual of actually how big their aura is. So Tuesday is all up, not Tuesday, the second day is all about energy. The third day is all about shamanic journeying and learning how to work with spirit helpers. We're going to be working with power animals, which are spirit helpers that live in the lower world. And we have a whole lesson around the three different worlds in the shamanic world and what what part of the shamanic world we are going to be journeying to. There's a lot of information in this particular day. And the icing on the cake for this day is when students get an opportunity to create a power animal mask in the afternoon to really honor their power animal. And we have lots of information that we share with them on how they can deepen their relationship with their power animal as they move forward in their lives. And on day 4 of the program, we're kind of doing a deep inner experience here where we're having people do a guided meditation to meet some of their inner board of directors. You know, those voices that we're constantly listening to that are chattering, and I have a pretty strong inner critic that I have to kind of keep in check as much as possible. So I'm sure I'm seeing some heads nod there. I think everybody here is probably familiar with an inner critic. So we have an opportunity to start meeting our internal board of directors in this program. And for some people, this is the very first time that they have been exposed to work like this. So they're having aha moments in modules like this. And it's really a wonderful thing to see people just discovering new parts of who they are and learning how to manage, for instance, the inner critic that can be really negative, and how to bring in an inner champion to really step up and become a louder voice for them. So they can learn how to create more loving, compassionate, kinder inner self talk. And then we have a whole module we do on reclaiming personal power. And this is a big one, especially for people who have felt like they've been a victim in um, previous situations in their lives. This is a really powerful module that is very empowering for your clients, and it's a favorite of a lot of my clients. We teach them how to muscle test, which is another way of connecting with your inner wisdom. Are any of you familiar with muscle testing? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, we're gonna show a little bit about that in a little bit here. They You'll also be teaching your clients how to shield themselves energetically, how to protect themselves going out in the world when they are feeling vulnerable or going into a situation that they aren't feeling really secure and confident about. Um, I use it when I go to family gatherings. You can use it in a lot of very practical applications. We have a whole section on finding your manifestation mojo, and it's an introduction to Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction, and then understanding the power of affirmations. So the day 4 is a really big day of learning how to move forward with some really important tools for clients. And then, as you can see, there's a lot of bullet points on day 5. It's a huge day where we teach people what tapping is, EFT, emotional freedom technique. And we just do a generalized script for anxiety because everybody deals with anxiety in some form or another. So we teach what tapping is, why it's done the way it is, and we give them a script for anxiety. And then, we give them some pointers towards the end of that module on how they can continue exploring EFT if that feels like it's a tool that can be really helpful for them. We do a whole module on the importance of grounding, what it is, why we do it, and why it's so important for our overall health and well being. We have a little recipe for how to create sacred space at home and why it's so important to create a physical space for your spiritual practice as you are learning how to create space in your personal life for your spiritual practice. It's very, very helpful to create a physical space for yourself in your home as well. And we also get into a number of modules on mindfulness and what mindfulness is, how it can benefit you. And then we do, excuse me, a couple of mindfulness modules. And one of them is practicing mindfulness in nature, which is a beautiful experience that I think people are always surprised at the results they see when they take that module outside into the natural world. And then we do an exercise where we teach people that if they feel like they have some stuck energy in their body, we do a little shamanic exercise with them and teach them how to move that energy up and out of their body so they can just release it and let it go. And then our closing ceremony on the last day is a despacho ceremony, which is a gratitude ceremony for Mother Earth. And we want all of our clients to experience the despacho ceremony. And then we invite everyone to and encourage them to create their own despacho ceremony and also share that with their friends and family and loved ones, or if they belong to a circle, to share it with the people in their circle. So I'm going to just stop sharing. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more module. Teacher training program has 6 modules, even though there's only 5 days of spirit camp for adults, because in the 6th day of our training, we go over your business in a box, which is all about timelines and budgets and press releases and promotional materials and how to use free gifts to build your email list. How do you advertise this? How do you build an email list when you don't have anything to start with? So the 6th module is one that is really helpful for those people who don't have a business yet and you're just starting from scratch and you don't know where to begin. This is the module that will really help you um, take a step forward on that path. So I'm going to stop sharing there for just a second. And I just want to check in with anybody and see if there are any questions yet. Does anyone have any questions that you have at this point in time, or would you like me to just keep moving on? Oops, I see somebody just coming in. I don't see any questions. Oh, all set? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going on then. And I'm gonna go back to screen sharing. All right, I want to share with you a list of the videos that come with this program. And I think this is a really cool thing to have because well, let me go over the list first, then I'll tell you why. So, there is a chakra meditation that you can do with your clients on day 2, Energy Day. There's a gratitude meditation you can do on day 5, an elevator to success meditation that we do on the day that we are doing Law of Attraction. Reclaiming your personal power is on the 4th day, meeting your inner critic meditation on the 4th day, meeting your inner champion meditation on the 4th day, finding your power animal meditation on the 3rd day. These are YouTube videos that I created that can support you in working with your own clients. Now, there is a spirit camp teacher who is a therapist. She's using these in sessions with her clients and sending them home with YouTube links so they can keep doing these meditations in between sessions. So, these are things that you may find really valuable to share, like on your Facebook pages or something. So, I encourage all of the students that are in the Spirit Camp for Adults teacher training program to really find ways to utilize those and, um, kind of bring people into getting to know the kind of work that you're doing just by using these YouTube videos. And then I have a whole library of PDF documents that I have created for you so that when you take this program, you are given all of these documents that you can be printing out and handing out to your students every time they come to see you. So there's a law of attraction one called the 5 steps of manifestation. There's a 7-page chakra chart that has one chakra per page with all of the information completely detailed. Like it's a really fully comprehensive um, piece of documentation for each chakra and how that chakra impacts our lives. So that is a beautiful piece of work that you can be sending home with your clients or emailing them. If you don't want to print them, you can email them to your clients. There's I call this a recipe because the despacho ceremony is a beautiful ceremony. I've already mentioned it. We close our spirit camps out with it. But because we want people to continue doing this ceremony after they leave spirit camp, I have created like a recipe for how to create a despacho ceremony at your home with a list of all of the ingredients, all of the materials you need, how to do it, the steps to take. So that is something that you can also give to your clients so that they can continue working with the despacho after they've left spirit camp. Um, there's an exercise we do as part of the spirit camp where we teach people how to use dowsing rods, and there's a whole little series of cards that we use in this little exercise. So I call them the dowsing cards. On the very first day of spirit camp for adults, we introduce the importance of tracking dreams. And as your clients go through spirit camp for adults, especially after the second day when we're dealing with energy, dream activity starts really picking up. So I've created a dream time journal that your clients can download. Either you can print it for them or they can download where they can start tracking their dreams and be able to bring those to you for the next classes in the program. And then there's a whole document on EFT, what it is, how to do it, what the tapping points are. And then part of the ceremony, part of the program is learning how to create ceremony at home. So many people, or so many of the adults that have come to me for a spirit camp for adults, know they want to they want to participate in ceremonies. They love coming to ceremonies and attending them, but they don't really know how to create them themselves. And they want to start learning how to do that. So I I created little recipes, I guess, for how to create a fire ceremony, how to create a water ceremony, what the difference between the two is, and why you would want to do one over the other. So it's information again that you can be handing to your clients so they can understand once Spirit Camp for Adults ends, how they can continue with the teachings once they're at home. And then there's a whole gratitude section as part of this program. And you'll have a downloadable PDF for them on the gratitude ABCs. And this was a really fun one I did with my last Spirit Camp for Adults that was a virtual program where I just put on some soft, soothing music, and we have the alphabet written down on a piece of paper, and everyone writes something that they're grateful for that begins with each letter of the alphabet. And it's a slightly different way of doing a gratitude exercise, but it was really popular. So I decided to do a PDF for it, and I've got it up as a part of this program. And then also, in addition to the Dreamtime Journal, you have a PDF download that you can either print or send to your clients where they can start their own gratitude journal. And in order to make it easy for them to do that, I've also created a PDF of gratitude prompts. And you could come up with an assignment for them, for instance, where each day or each week, you could come up with a number of prompts that is part of their homework to do in their gratitude journal in between classes. So you've got lots of material there to work with. The invocation is written out as a PDF download for them so that they can remember it when they go home and keep practicing it, so that as they come back together with you in person, you have the power of everyone's voice doing the invocation, because they've had a chance to take it home and memorize it and come back being able to participate fully in the energy of calling in the spirits. And then there's a document, I think there's two. No, there's one document on muscle testing. And I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes because we're going to actually do that together. And then there's a beautiful document on how to do this mindfulness exercise in nature that I mentioned earlier. It's a beautiful exercise, and it's a how to um, connect to the natural world in a very different way, in a much deeper way than most people have ever experienced before. And it's an entire lesson that they can take out into the woods with them and enjoy. So I love that particular. And then there's a document, a PDF download for techniques for shielding, giving people different ways that they can protect themselves energetically when they're going out in the world. And then we have a document that explains what zipping up your chakras is. And that's a really fun one. That's a really cool exercise that everyone, no matter what their age is, everyone enjoys that particular exercise. So you've got all the videos, all the PDF documents that you can be using as part of the program. And now this is what some of the PDF downloads look like. This one is in a landscape format just because of the slideshow that I'm doing for you, but all of the ones that you get are basically going to be portrait. So it's the same information, a little, in a portrait form. So muscle testing to connect to your higher wisdom is a really fun way to help people start tapping into that inner wisdom that we all have. And this a lot of people say that they have this inner voice that they don't tend to pay attention to, but they want to learn how to pay attention to it, or they used to have gut feelings and then they just ignored them for so long they just don't know how to get that connection back again. This is a great way to do that. So when we do this particular exercise, I'll talk you through this, and then I'm going to have you guys stand up and do this with me because it's really fun. So you would start by standing with your feet flat on the floor, And then I like to have people kind of put their hands on their solar plexus or over their abdomen. And then we ask our higher wisdom, what is a yes going to look like if I ask you a question and the answer is yes? And then we just see how our body responds to that question. And then we'll ask after that, what is it going to look like if I ask a question and the answer is no? How will you respond? So we can also sense that in our bodies. And this surprises some people. I only saw one or two people who were familiar with this technique. So I want to see if you guys would be willing to stand up with me for a moment. And let's just try this together. So if you were to stand up in front of your computer, I'm just going to turn this a little bit so you can see my whole head, and just take a moment to really plant your feet flat on the floor. Really feel the grounding cords coming from the bottoms of your feet down into Mother Earth, really connecting yourself to the Earth's energy. If you're comfortable doing so, place your hands over your abdomen or your solar plexus. And also, if you're comfortable doing so, I encourage you to close your eyes and keep your focus inward for just a moment. And then, when the time feels right, ask your body to show you how it's going to respond if the answer is yes when you ask it a question. What will a yes look like? And just feel your body's response. Yes, going to look. And then when you have that answer, go ahead and connect to your inner wisdom again and ask, if I ask you a question and the answer is no, what is it going to look like? And then see what your how your body responds to that. What is a no going to look like? Okay. So now I'd love to have you come back to the call for a second and tell me what you discovered. Did anybody have a response that you'd like to share? Audrey?
I have a very strong inner pull either way. So my yes almost makes me feel like I'm going to hit the floor. Like I am literally yanked forward. And then my no is a solid push back. Like I have to take a step back because I can feel the energy pushing me either way.
Yep.
It's very strong.
Yes. Yeah, it sounds like it. Thank you, Audrey. Jamie, I saw you
Thank you.
shaking your head too. Did you have a strong response as well?
Absolutely. Same thing. Whenever it's a yes, I go forward. Whenever it is a no, I definitely rock back on my heels.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Does anybody else have anything you'd like to share about that?
Mine
Okay.
is also the same.
The same. Okay. So
I've been
I
doing it a while.
encourage you to play with this a little bit. And for instance, here's something that I'll show you that I do when I'm working with a class of people. I've got my water in front of me here. I might hold my water in my hands just as I'm learning how to play with this and start trusting my inner wisdom. Might hold a glass of water in my hands and ask, is it in my best interest to drink this water? And of course, I can feel myself moving forward already. And then when I'm with kids, especially on a virtual call, I might just pick up my mouse and say, okay, so now I'm going to ask about my mouse. Is it in my best interest to eat my mouse? And of course, I'm going backwards. So if you're somebody that is new to muscle testing, it might be really fun for you to play with that a little bit and see what that feels like for you. And this is like a tiny, tiny snippet of some of the information that we teach our clients when they're coming to Spirit Camp for Adults, because there are so many different ways that we can connect to our higher wisdom and start really tapping into that inner knowing that we all have. And this is, I think, just a really fun and interactive way. And it gets really playful in class as people are doing this all together. And we think of things that we really love and we feel our bodies respond. We think of things we detest and we can feel the response there. So it's really fun to play with this type of exercise and then have people go home and you can give them assignments. Go home, and if there's something in your refrigerator that everybody in your family can eat but you because you're allergic to it, well, hold it in your hands and ask, is it in your best interest to eat this? Just keep finding ways to build your confidence in your ability to find those authentic answers, that because your higher wisdom is never going to let you is never going to steer you wrong. It's always going to do what is in, or give you a response that is in your highest good. Okay, so let me continue going on here. Oh, we just muscle test ourselves. All right, so I want to share a couple of testimonials with you here. So this particular Spirit Camp teacher is a parent coach. And what she said is that this program brings awareness to parents about the spiritual side of their children. This isn't taught in most places, and we don't have a lot of focus on the spiritual aspect of life. The awareness is very crucial for children for their healing so they don't carry the wounds forward into their adult lives. That's what so many adults are saying right now, is that they've carried these wounds forward and they want to learn how to heal them so they don't share them with their children. So if we can um, teach parents how to nurture their children in such a way that the children are going to grow up healthy and aware. This one is from a therapist. To my surprise and delight, this program was much more comprehensive than anticipated. It included such great tools such as energy work, chakra cleansing, shamanic journeying, spirit animals, mindfulness, and so much more. That's the therapist that I told you is now sending her clients home with YouTube links to the meditations. And this one is from a holistic practitioner who said, when it's all broken down, the time, the energy, all of the pieces of material that I don't have to create myself, it is all so worth it. All of the pieces are there. So, Jamie May, would you be willing to share with people your recent experience? Because Jamie is a recently certified Spirit Camp for Kids teacher. Jamie just went through the teacher training program less than a month ago, and can attest to like what training is like. It's the kids program versus the adults one, but there's so much that's similar.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I heard Ava speaking in March with a mutual of ours, and I hadn't met her, I hadn't heard of her, I hadn't heard of her program, and I just knew, like, immediately, this is what I need to do. It combined all of my loves, and I just had to make it happen. So I worked very hard to make sure that I was in Maine a month ago to get this training, and it has already changed my life and is allowing me to help change the lives of those around me. When we came into teacher training on Monday, you know how you're like nervous, you have no clue what's going to happen, and then you just sit down and you start crafting and you start talking about experiences. And the way Ava does teacher training is she teaches you as though you are taking the training. So for us, it was kids. So we did all of the kid activities. And it's really cool going through the program how much you realize you're getting it for yourself too. I thought I was going to be teaching children all of these cool things. And since Spirit Camp, I've probably used, I don't know, 10 of the modalities that we've talked about, just because they are so helpful in dialing into our own inner wisdom and not taking the fluff from the rest of the world. So highly recommend. Obviously, I am all on board for the adult training as well, and hopefully someday the teen training as well. But I feel like this is going to change the world. So I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Thank you.
Of course.
And I'm going to go back to screen share here because I have all kinds of really cool bonuses that I want to share with you tonight. So I so appreciate each and every one of you.
Wait,
What?
Ava, can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Please.
of course. Hang on one second. Yes.
My apologies. So I have to tell you the work that she has put into this. Yes, you're going to learn everything, but you're also going to get everything in a binder. You're also going to get that binder that has links. So everything that she gave us exists online for our reference, or if we need to print something or anything like that. But the manual itself is literally so specific where you can get the best deals on the beads for the chakras, and just so much work she had put into this to make it successful no matter where you're starting. In our class, we had some people who had been teachers before, some people who were in the ministry, some people who were in the metaphysical world. All of us had different abilities and we came to it from different ways, but in the end, we were all able to do this program. So I just needed to say about the folder because it is beyond anything I've ever seen anyone create before. It has the photos, it has the links, it has daily outlines, and how to do the business, which invaluable. So I'll stop now.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, my friends, going into okay. So the first thing you need to know is there's a lot of materials that go into teaching Spirit Camp because there are a lot of books that we read to students. There are timeless and ageless books that are a part of Spirit Camp curriculum. They are technically children's books, but they're not because the lessons and the teachings in them are ageless. So anyway, you get an entire box of books and decks of cards that you're going to be needing to be able to teach Spirit Camp. And that's a value of $175. Then you get the whole business in a box, the tools that you're going to need to be able to build your business. And we go over that thoroughly. Then you'll have an hour coaching call with me at any point in time. In like the virtual training is 1 weekend a month for 3 months. Any point in time during that time that you want to have a one-on-one coaching call with me to talk about anything that you want to talk about. And then because so many of the people who are coming to me for this Spirit Camp for Adults teacher training program are brand new going into business for themselves, I'm also offering a class where I help you set up ConvertKit as an email program for you to be able to gather email addresses from people as you're building your business. And it's a database, but it's also a great platform because you're able to create opt-in pages and landing pages and create automatic emails to really lighten your workload. And because that's the system that I use for Dancing Jaguar, I am totally willing to support any of the Spirit Camp teachers in learning how to create that system for themselves. And that way I can support you, moving on from there. If you have questions about how to do something, I'm always only an email away. And then there's another coach that I've worked with who I absolutely adore. Her name is Cheryl Bernstein, and she is willing to come in and teach a free and low cost tech tools for your business class where she'll help you discover how you can take ConvertKit and attach other programs to it that are free and low cost tools. So you can be building your business at minimal cost to you until you're able to start generating some income and start expanding the tech tools that you're using. But there are some great tools you can use that are free. And then I have a friend named Lori Walton, who is a tapping coach. She is an expert in this. She is fabulous at it. And one of the things that I have discovered is that as you are building your business, your which is kind of outside of you, you also need to be working on your inner world, because very frequently something will come up and you need to here's an example from my personal world. I needed to start making videos to go online. I was terrified. I didn't know, I didn't want to, couldn't imagine being seen online in videos. And then all of a sudden somebody said, you've got to go see Lori Walton, who taught me that I had this unconscious vow to be invisible. And I needed to really heal that vow to be invisible before I was going to be able to take the next step in my business. So, what I have learned since then, that was like at the beginning, is that as I move forward in my business, I hit a roadblock and I have to do some internal work and some inner reflection and healing before I'm able to take the next step in in the outer world, because the inner and the outer are reflections of each other, and as your business grows, you grow as well. Can't be any other way. So Lori is like my secret weapon when I am coming up against something and I know there's a block there. She is my go-to person. So I want to introduce her to all of my spirit camp teachers in the event that as you're building your business, you also discover that there's something there that you need to look at. So the total of those bonuses are $1,500. But because you guys are here on this call tonight, I have another bonus for you. So you hang on for 1 second. I am going to go grab a little link for you. Just because you are here and on this call tonight, I have a special link that I'm going to put in the chat. Here we go. Oh, I see somebody wrote in there. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Jamie, will you peek and see if it's a question I need to answer? So, friends, I have just put a link in the chat. That is a link that is only good until I hit end meeting on this call. It is a $250 discount on the teacher training program that starts in October. So you hang on a second, and I am going to now tell you when those classes meet. Oops, I'm not sharing yet. So the teacher training program for Spirit Camp for Adults starts October 7th and 8th. We meet one weekend a month from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be meeting November 4th and 5th. And then we'll be meeting for the last time December 2nd and 3rd. And Jamie, would you be willing to put those in the chat? Wait, oh, you know what? I can just copy them off my notes. Duh. There we go. Those are the dates of the training from 11 to 4 Eastern Time. And for those of you who are interested in taking that program, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the finances of it right now. This program has been valued at $26.99, and I have the price set for this at $19.97. And there is a pay in full option and a 3 payment plan option, a split pay of 3 payments. Those of you sitting right here on this call right now also have that $250 discount sitting in the link there. That link was sitting in your chat right now, because I really want to reward action takers. So you know you're going to do this, save yourself $250 and just click on that link before we get off the call. So I really encourage people to Um, Look at this program if you're looking to expand your business or start a new business, shift careers, do something different. You're really being called to live from your heart, not from your head. That was my big thing. I kept feeling like I needed to live from my heart. And that now all of Dancing Jaguar is just, it's just all heart-centered business. I just love what I do. But this program, it's a complete toolbox of wisdom for your clients. You know, we've done the researching, the development, the implementation, and we are making it so easy for you to be able to just come to the training, get certified, and have a ready to go program that you can give to your clients starting immediately in 2024. Start 2024 with a new way to create income for yourself. So I often am asked, how much do you charge for Spirit Camp for Adults? And my answer is it kind of depends on the teacher and your market. Different markets have different price ranges, but for where I live, this is how I teach Spirit Camp for Adults as a 1 day, 1 Saturday per month program that runs for 5 months. That is the recipe that my clients tell me they like the best because it gives them time to integrate all of the new information into their life. We've got a Facebook group that we check in with each other. I've given them some homework assignments. They're practicing what they're learning. And then they come back the second month and we're doing all of the energy stuff. And then the third month, it's the shamanic journeying and working with spirit helpers. So they're getting it in bite-sized pieces that's really manageable. They're not having to like give up parts of their life to be able to complete it. I charge $500 for the program and I put them on a split pay, $100 a month, so that it's an automatic income each month that I can depend on. If you've got 10 people in your Spirit Camp for Adults class, you've got $1,000 of income that will be coming in automatically for those 5 months. The other way that you could do it is to teach it at a retreat center. You could rent a retreat center and do a 5 day retreat for adults. I have had people ask me if they could roll over and do like day one and start part of day two on the first day and then go into day two. That's just way too much information. So I've been really clear with Spirit Camp teachers, just had a boundary around that. Like each day is its own day, and people really do need time to integrate that information before you start, giving them a whole bunch of other information that has nothing to do with what they just learned. It's opening up another whole field of um, or another whole modality for them. So anyway, you could do retreats at international locations. If you're somebody who likes to travel, there is no reason why you couldn't book yourself at a retreat center in Costa Rica and just start offering Spirit Camp for Adults at retreat centers. So there really is a lot of opportunity for however you want to take this information and utilize it in your business. What works for you? You could just you may find that 2 hour workshops are all you want to do on Friday evenings. And you just have a regular 2 hour workshop for weeks on end for your students. You've just got to find what works for you. But for me, my best recipe for this program is 1 Saturday a month. So let me see if I have anything else to share. I think I'm going to go back into screen share for just a moment, and then I'll see if there are any questions. Oh, the inner child healing. I do want to talk about this because it is a wonderful side effect of taking this program. One of my Spirit Camp teachers, I love telling this story because it's so heartwarming. The very first story I read in the teacher training program. It's a story called Inside Out. And this woman just cried through the whole thing. And what she ended up sharing with us afterwards was that she had a very abusive childhood. And she realized when I started reading the story that she had never had anyone read her story when she was a child. And so for her, there was so much inner child healing every time I would say, okay, I have a story I want to tell you. And I would bring out a book and read a story. And it was so healing for her. And so every single teacher training program I do, or spirit camp for adults, it doesn't matter whether it's just spirit camp or the teacher training program, it touches the inner children of the participants in a beautiful way. And when I first started doing the teacher training programs, I thought I was just going to be teaching the curriculum so that other people could teach the curriculum. But it's a beautiful side effect of the program that there's actually healing, beautiful healing that's taking place throughout the entire program. So when we can help others manage their thoughts and feelings and tap into their inner wisdom and learn how to take responsibility for their thoughts and actions, we can plant the seeds of peace in our homes, our communities, and the world. And the work we do will impact all of humanity because of the butterfly effect, where one small change can have large consequences. And I do believe that we are the change that we have been waiting for. The impact of spirit camp can be so profound on this world because we're giving people a wisdom toolbox for life, and it gives them a jumping off point for understanding how to manage their inner world and their spiritual connection to their inner wisdom and spirit or source energy at large. So my friends, I encourage you to take advantage of this offer and your $250 discount tonight. Jump in and become a part of this next training. So on that note, I would just like to see if there are any questions from anybody here. No questions? Any comments? No? Everybody's feeling complete? All right, my friends. So I will be sending out a replay to this call, but don't forget to click that link. But I'll be sending out a replay soon. So watch for those emails, and the bonuses will expire Saturday night at midnight. So I encourage you to open up those emails as you get them over the next couple of days. And I look forward to connecting with each of you soon. And there will be a link in the emails if you want to schedule a Zoom call with me. I would love to connect with you one-on-one. Okay. Thank you for being here on the call, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time. I look forward to seeing you soon. Mwah. Bye for now.
Thank you. Very
Welcome.
interesting.
Bye-bye.